Welcome in to Extreme Talk. My name is James Shannon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Got a good show lined up for today. We're going to recap everything that happened this past week and a ton of football. Honestly, a ton of games that I missed mentioning last week on the show. So we'll get caught up on all those scores. A lot of scores from North Carolina and Florida, Mississippi as well. So we'll get caught up on all that. At 3:30, we'll talk to Coach Sam Arnett from the Pine Belt Spartans and talk about the Spartans starting their season this upcoming Friday night. And then just kind of talk about last year and the upcoming season. So it'll be good to catch up with him. And then we'll look ahead to this upcoming weekend. But first things first, I want to give a big thank you to the guys that helped with the games yesterday. Obviously running a smaller crew, but Whit Maxwell, Blake Biggs, Preston McElhaney, making it happen to two broadcasts, two separate fields. A little bit simpler broadcast, just a camera and replay. And then, of course, I just called the games down at the lower field yesterday. But and by the way, if I sound stopped up, congested, I've actually been battling some sinus stuff. Probably started on last Tuesday, and I felt good enough to do yesterday, but obviously it was a long day. I think I got to. That drove up yesterday morning, got to Rocky Top about 12:30, and I think we all left about 11:30 once the games were done and we got packed up. So, and then drove back this morning. So very, very long couple of days, but very worth it. Got to see some good football up there, especially at the main field. Had a couple really good games. I haven't gotten to watch all of them, but the pieces that I did watch where I checked in, it looked pretty good. All things considered, I know there's some injuries and some stuff going on, but all things considered, I think they were good games, and I think the whole weekend or yesterday at Rocky Top went well. So I want to give a big thank you to Mr. Andrew Capps for again just the whole crew with Rocky Top Sports World, the hospitality the last couple weekends, having us up there to do the Black Bear Brawl. It's always a lot of fun. To get to go see some of the guys, call some football, and try to be a blessing to the young men and the families that are involved in that. I am going to address the obvious. I will not be joined today by Blake and Eli. Blake, I believe, is on his way back to Starkville from Knoxville. And it's quite a drive, and he's got a whole lot to get set up. He's still working on some school stuff, still got to get settled in. So I know he's had a busy few days. And then Eli is still handling some family stuff, trying to get settled in and trying to get up and going. So just going to one-man show it today, but I've got a bottle of water, and we're going to be all right. We'll be all right. The other thing, obviously, first off, for those that have not seen the social media post, congratulations to all of the gentlemen who were named to the Gatlinburg All-American Hall of Fame class of 2026. I'm gonna pull it up real quick because it was pretty cool. Like I said, it was pretty cool. Let me see, a lot of Black Bear Brawl stuff there. And if Instagram will not act up on me, we can actually pull it up. There we go. But congratulations. These are all I think these are all from the 2020 December 2020 All-American game. The first one that Rocky Top officially ran. And I think there was one guy in here maybe from a previous year who got honored. So big congratulations in terms of players to Ronnie Porter, Manny Dang, Jet Lodge, Austin Gay, Bishop Spackman, Neil McClure, John Hewlett, Zach O'Connor, Theor and Cannon, and then Tyler Henderson, and then our very own Eli Cornett named to the Hall of Fame. So congratulations to them. In terms of coaches, Tim Smith, I mean, no-brainer. Hands down, no-brainer. 5 years of service, longer than that. But Jason Aschenbrenner, Steve Reithmeyer, Ty Colson, Vaughn Mahoney, and Roland Bell. Congratulations to Roland. He's been around it for a while. And then there's the media portion, and I don't think I'm deserving of it. It's cool. I'm honored, and I'm uh, it's pretty awesome. I don't think I'm deserving of it. But I am very, very humbled and very honored to be named to this Hall of Fame. Got my backpack yesterday. Um, I'm sure they'll probably end up doing something at some point up there at Rocky Top in terms of. I think they were going to try to do something yesterday, and then just the way the day played out, there was no spot for that to happen. So, but I'm very, very honored. It's pretty. I know I keep saying it, but it's pretty stinking cool. It's always been a pleasure to go up to Gatlinburg, and of course, we've broadcasted every All American game there since the very first one in January of 2019. Very, very honored to get to do that. Um, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. A lot of football, a lot of long days, a lot of very long days up there. But yeah, that's I really didn't get a chance to. I didn't really get a chance to process it yesterday, just with everything going on. But um, it's it's really cool, really really cool. So anyway, so congratulations to the other folks that also made it into the Hall of Fame, and they've got a cool website set up for it. But congratulations to everybody. Let's run through some scores real quick. Usually, especially as the season goes on, we kind of pick a top five. Top five games from this past weekend. We'll have a top five for the upcoming weekend. At this point in the season, it's hard to tell, kind of what a top five is. I also haven't had a ton of time to dig through the scores. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the scores, and uh, and we'll kind of touch base on everybody that played this past weekend. Let's see. Let's go ACSC first. Ezekiel Academy Friday night hosting Faithful Explorers out of Mississippi, 44-12. Knights with the win in that one. And then of course yesterday, East Central Patriots taking on JP2 out of North Carolina. JP2 56-48 win in that one. That was a fun one. And then also, I don't know why it's not on here, but Southern Christian Patriots with a 51-12 win over the Mississippi Tornadoes. So ACSC goes 2-0 against Alabama. CFA has not started yet. I think they start this upcoming week. Down in Louisiana in the ACL on Thursday had a couple games take place. JPG 38-0 over First Baptist Christian. They extend their win streak to, I don't even remember. And Southwest Louisiana Homeschool, SWLA, 32-0 over Midstate Homeschool. Gotta say, I did not expect the shutout there. SWLA has been a solid team until they play JPG and then Acadiana the last couple years. But SWLA, solid. Solid number 2 team there, and of course JPG beat them 58-8 last week. Last week. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, kind of seems like a one-horse race at this point, but it will be interesting to keep an eye on them. Arkansas has not started playing yet, but who has is Florida. Like I mentioned, I forgot to mention all these scores, so let's run through them real quick. Merritt Island Christian 41-14 win over Orlando Christian Prep. New program to 8-man that just made the move, I think a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, but just made the move down. Tampa Slam 57-12 over Bell Creek Academy. Foundation Christian 22-12 over Real Life. Real Life team that had a great 2025 season. They were ranked super high. I don't remember the final ranking, but they were ranked very high on our top 25. Bradenton Christian 44-22 over First Academy. Lakeside Christian 48-6 over Lake Mary Prep. Lake Placid 53-0 over Legacy Charter, and Harvest Community 61-6. I feel like that might be an 11-man. I feel like that might be 11 because Harvest Community. I think First Coast Christian's playing 11-man. Regardless, that's Florida. So several games happening down in the Sunshine State Athletic Association. Georgia started up this past week too. Fullington Academy 52-6 over Grace Christian. Citizens Christian 41-8 over Baker County. I think that was a 9-man game possibly. No, it was 8. It was 8. Thomas Jefferson Academy, well, that was 11-man, but 13-0 over Westminster Schools of Augusta. And then David Emanuel, 49-6 over Georgia Christian. So DEA starts off the season 1-0. Big win for them there. Let's jump to, of course, Mid-South Christian Football League, going to start this upcoming week. Let's jump to Mississippi. Had some games down in the MAIS this past weekend. Newton County Academy, 56-14 over Kemper. Prentice Christian, 30-0 win over Heritage. River Oaks, this was a big one. We talked about this last week. Or I talked about it. River Oaks, 36-18 over Tallulah Academy. DeSoto School out of Arkansas, 52-14 over Delta Streets. And, Benton Academy, 52-12 over Lee. Staying in the MAIS, but jumping up to, that's the 1A division, jumping up to the 2A division. Let's see if there is any games. Wilkinson County Christian, 42-6 over Riverdale. That's a big one there. Wilkinson County getting to starting the season off 1-0. Franklin Academy, 22-18 over Marvell. That's a good one there. Tunica, 50-22 over Briarfield. That's a big one there. And then Discovery Christian, 50-12 over Tensas Academy. You know what? Let's jump up to Virginia. Actually had some games happen up there on Friday. Fuqua 48-16 over Kinston Forest. And then an interstate matchup. Cary Christian taking on Brunswick Academy. Cary Christian coming out of North Carolina. And Cary gets the win 32-6 in that one. So successful road trip for the Knights going up to Virginia. Let's come here to Tennessee. Had some games happening Friday night. Lancaster Christian 44-6 over Riverside Christian. Lancaster's 2-0 now. Freedom Cowboys start the season off with a win in the Independence Bowl, 34-0 over the Tennessee Heat. And South Haven Christian also moves to 2-0 with a 60-28 win over Pleasant View Christian. Yesterday up in Gatlinburg, Tennessee Tigers taking on Faith Christian out of North Carolina. Faith Christian 55-26 win in that one. Faith Christian looked pretty good in that one, I'm not going to lie. Tennessee Tigers fought. Faith Christian looked pretty good. I mentioned this last week, Jefferson Davis Academy and Pack Panthers. They were going to keep their rivalry going. JDA 24-19 win in that game against the Pack Panthers. I don't know if we have any stats up yet. Let's see. We got any? We got some for the Pack Panthers. Patrick Bennett, 56% completion, over 300 yards, got a touchdown and a pick. Gage Taylor, 6 catches, 136 yards. Let's see, defensively. What we got defensively? Ben Riley, 4 tackles, 9 assists, and a tackle for loss. Evan Watt, 4 tackles, 8 assists. 4 tackles, 8 assists. So you got some guys that stepped up there. JDA, no stats on there yet, but JDA with a big win over the Pack Panthers. Pack falls to 0-2, by the way, after the loss to South Haven Christian in Gatlinburg. I think I pretty much touched on all the North Carolina. No, there were a couple games Friday night. Arundel Parrott playing an 11-man game against Wayne Christian. They lose 42-7. Lawrence Academy 58-33 over St. David's. And Liberty Christian, we saw them down in Florida last year, 26-14 over Father Capodanno. So Liberty Christian starts off their season 1-0. Let's see, who do we miss? Who do we miss? I think that's everybody. Let me see. Christian Independent. Yep, that was Liberty Christian. Skisa will start up next week. Whole lot of conferences starting up next week. I apologize for the yawning. It has been a long couple days, so probably should have. Well, no, I drank a Monster this morning. I'm not trying to double up on the energy drinks. I do want to back up though to some of these MAIS games, and I want to give a shout out to a couple kids. Was it MAIS? There was a couple that had some really good scores. Franklin and Marvell. Let's see if we got any stats from that one. No stats there. Let's see. River Oaks. River Oaks and Tallulah. There's no stats in that one. Let's see. Try to see if there's any stats on any of these games that I just covered. Let's see. See if Liberty Christian put any stats on here. Does not look like it. I don't think I realized it was the Father Capodanno Grunts. They are the Grunts. That's interesting. By the way, something I did want to touch base on, complete ADHD mind there. That's what I want to talk about. Foundation Christian in real life. Let's see if there's stats on that game. Nope, no stats on that one. I did want to touch base on the 8-Man Extreme YouTube network. So where we've got 8-Man Extreme Tennessee, 8-Man Extreme Alabama, Mississippi, so on and so forth. That is getting fired up. That's still up and going. So the two games yesterday at the Black Bear Brawl down on the lower field, Southern Christian Mississippi Tornadoes and Tri-Cities Christian American Sports Prep. Those two games are on 8-Man Extreme Alabama, just in case you're looking for them. But yeah, all of our channels are up and running. So if you wanna get on board and have your team, help your team stream their games, broadcast their games, make it to where people can watch, just let us know. Shoot us an email, shoot us a text, and we'll get you all the info on that. We can work on getting you set up to do so, and get you all the info there. But we're getting fired up here. We're getting rolling, and would love to be able to help you guys. Be able to help you guys get to a point where you can broadcast your team's games. I don't know why it said I had some drop frames, but I think we're good. Yeah, we're still rolling. I don't know why it's not charging them. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was something. I feel like there's something I was forgetting. I don't think so. So at this, right now, what I'd like to do is I'm gonna step aside, and just for a couple moments, and when we come back, we're gonna get Coach Sam Arnett on the line and talk to him about the Pine Belt Spartans. So be right back. Well, ended it a little prematurely. Still had about 20 seconds left on it. But let's go ahead. Let's get Coach Arnett on the phone.
Hello.
Joining me now is the head coach of the Pine Belt Spartans, who kick off their season this Friday against Heritage Christian, Coach Sam Arnett. Coach, appreciate you joining me.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
Well, let's back up just a little bit, like I do with everybody else, and let's get a little bit of history about yourself in terms of coaching, and then let's talk about the Pine Belt Spartans. Obviously, in their third year, going into year number 3 of the program. Well, let's talk about the program, and then you as a coach a little bit.
Yes, sir. Like you said, we're going into year 3. You know, last year we did pretty well. Year 1 was a little rough for us because we are a homeschool team, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
it was. I think we were 1-11 year 1, and we took our lumps and built a team. We had between JV and varsity, we had a total of 21 kids, and most of them were
Wow.
JV.
Yeah.
So it was a little rough year 1, but I kept preaching to the boys, look, we're putting a foundation down.
Yep.
Just keep buying into the process and let's keep working. And you'll see some results come in before it's over with. And, year 2, you fast forward and we dropped the first 2 ball games, kind of a little heartbreaking. And all of a sudden we go out and we win a ball game against a team that had beat us pretty good the first year.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be Heritage Christian.
Yep. Yep.
Which we match up with them again this year, or this coming week. But and the boys all of a sudden figured out they could win. And from that point forward, we went on to win 9 games straight and played for a championship. It's just a big turnaround and just finally getting those boys to believe in themselves. In between year 1, year 2, we went from 21 kids to a total of 34, which was a big increase.
Yeah.
A lot more older kids in that group, and we got better because of it. Year 3, we're looking to go and do a lot with them. We've got a total of 33 just on our varsity roster. 12
Wow.
of which are seniors. 11 of them are now seasoned seniors. We have
Yeah.
one newer kid. So I expect that we're gonna do pretty well this year. Now, with that said, we've got to go out and do the work.
Right.
And I keep telling these boys that, hey, you cannot think that anything is in the bag. We have to keep working hard every day to get better and be prepared for these ball games.
Well, and I think that's you hit the nail on the head right there. Is impressing to the guys that last year's record does not carry over to this year.
Absolutely.
You and everybody else have goose eggs. Now you got to build on that.
And that's 100% correct. And we try to make sure they understand that. Everybody in our conference, everybody that we play are coming to beat us. And they want to put that notch on their belt and say they beat us. And, likewise, we want to do the same to them. But we have to prepare ourselves to play the game that we play and go out and do our jobs every play.
Now I want to ask, how did you get? How did you end up getting involved with Pine Belt? Was there a coaching background there, or kind of how did this get started?
Honestly, not really. I mean, I'm a volunteer. All of our coaches are volunteers. We are just guys that love the game and want to provide a place for homeschool kids and some private school kids that don't have football to play here around us, and just put that together for them. I guess to tell you how it kind of got started, I have coached my son up through youth ball, and he was going to age out last year he would not have been able to play anywhere because that stops in the state of Mississippi at sixth grade.
Right.
Once they hit seventh grade, there's nowhere for him to play. So year one, which was 24, he was still playing youth ball, but the conversation was kind of had between myself and a couple other parents and that they had kids kind of doing the same, but there was nothing here for them or anywhere here for them to play. And and I just kind of told them, look, we'll put fillers out, see if there's enough kids to be able to pull this off, and I can get us a field and help get it organized and headed the right direction. And so we went from there and ended up, like I say, going back to 21 kids that first year, and most of them had never even played football before.
Wow.
And that was the other side to it. A lot of them had never even stepped on a football field in their life.
Yeah.
Now some of those kids are seniors this year, and they are jam up ball players. But as far as I'm learning this a lot as I go.
Yeah.
But it's not all me. I've got a
Absolutely.
good group of coaches that support me and let me try to help push them in the right direction. But I'm not the type of coach that I'm a dictator either.
Right.
We all put our heads together, put it on a whiteboard, and figure out what we're going to do. And it seems to work. And it's worked pretty well last year. I had Coach Todd Smith come in last year, and me and him put our plays together. Actually, he came from Slidell Saints.
Okay.
They were existent year one, and just year two for us, they didn't have enough kids.
Yeah.
So he brought his son up to play with us last year, Sam Smith, and we basically went through both of our playbooks and just basically combined them. And I let him run the offense. I have input in it, and we get along well, and we plan well together. But I don't tell him, hey, you're going to do this or anything like that. I'll let him coach and him do his job, and he does a very good job of it.
Yeah,
I would say so. Defensive coaches.
I would say so.
Yeah. Last year Sam Smith came in with us. He accounted for 2,400 yards between passing and running, and he's primed to do a good job this year. We've got more weapons coming in to join him. But anyway, I hope I didn't.
With the Mississippi side of homeschooling, but before programs like you guys and the Flyers and the other programs there in Mid-South Christian Football League, what kind of opportunities were there for homeschoolers, or was this kind of a brand new door that once you started digging into it, you said, hey, listen, this is a wide open area for us?
Yeah, and that's exactly right. There was nothing. We're not state of Mississippi. They've tried to pass what they call a Tim Tebow rule, or a Tim Tebow law, a few different times, and it's never passed. There's always been kind of some stipulations that people want to stay away from, and be honest with you, if they would have passed it like it was, I don't know that you would have got a lot of participation out of homeschool people,
right,
in those local public programs. So when we started digging, there was no opportunity at all. And it just so happened that year one, a team, Magnolia Wildcats.
Yep.
I had gotten in contact with them. I had gotten in contact with Slidell Saints, and gotten in contact with a couple of other teams. I'm going to say it was Faith Explorers and who else was it? Good night.
Hey, hang on. Let me pull it up. I'll see if I can jog your memory.
Drawing a blank. Sorry.
So let's see. First year I've got
Faith Christian.
Yeah, Mississippi Tornadoes. Yeah,
Mississippi Tornadoes, and so we kind of just all got games together and threw a little conference in. We played in a lot of MAIS schools that year, and that was a little brutal going back to year one. Yeah. Like I say, we learned a lot, and some of it was not good stuff we learned, but we still just kept our nose to the ground, kept grinding, kept trying to get these kids better.
Right.
But we all got to talking and ended up was able to put a small little conference together, and then some things changed between there and year two and everything, and in year two we grew a little bit with another team coming in, Meridian Flyers, and man, again, what daggum other team?
Meridian. Let's see. Meridian Sehi.
Yeah, Southeastern.
Yep,
That's correct. I'm
Southeastern.
sorry.
Nope, you're good.
And they came into it, and so we grew the conference a little bit, and then this year we're sitting here with 8 teams: Faith Christian or Mississippi Tornadoes, ourselves, Magnolia, Southeastern, Meridian, Gulf Coast Elite, Unity, and I hope I named them all off. I may have missed one, but we've got 8 teams able to create 2 divisions, a North and a South.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So we'll end up with 2 divisions of playoffs, and kind of work into that. And each division winner will meet up in Jackson for a playoff game, for a championship game.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So no playoffs, just championship.
No. We'll do a playoff.
Gotcha.
We'll have 2 rounds of playoffs, and the winners throughout those playoffs will go into a championship game.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So we got Unity. Let's see. Let me pull up the list because I feel like I had a list.
I feel like I forgot somebody too.
Let's see. Let's pull it up real quick.
Mount Zion.
That's what it is. Yep.
That's who it is. And Mount Zion being a new team this year, and same thing with Gulf Coast Elite. They're a brand new team this year, and I'm wishing them the best of luck. I know they're going to go through some growing pains like we did, and I've kind of talked to them a little bit, and talked to Coach John White down at Gulf Coast Elite a good bit about it, and it's just told them, look, you just got to keep doing what you can do.
Yeah.
And just keep building the program.
So we've got. So let's see how the division's split up. You got Pine Belt, Magnolia, Southeast, and Meridian in one division, or
correct.
And then you got Mississippi Tornadoes, Unity, Gulf Coast, and Zion in another.
Actually, you know what? That's
or no, I messed that up because Unity's in the north side.
Correct. Yeah. Unity and Mississippi Tornadoes, and I believe it is. I believe it's Magnolia and Southeastern are in that same division.
Okay, that makes sense. Yep. And then the south side would be you guys, Gulf Coast, Mount Zion, and Meridian.
Correct.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense. That's cool. That's cool to be able to get to a division structure, because then that makes it too to where if you guys want to play at home and home, you can. If you want to play MAIS teams, you can do that. Obviously you guys have played those teams beforehand, and like you said, got the big win last year against Heritage. So that's cool to be able to get to that point. Now, you getting up and running, and of course now in the position that you're in, you were talking about being able to help Coach White down there at Gulf Coast. But when you were getting this going, who were some of the biggest people that were able to help you in terms of, just even the simplest questions of, hey, what about this?
I'll tell you, one person I was able to reach out to that gave me some good advice, and that's Coach Holloway at WCCA, which we are playing them this year.
Yeah.
And he was able to kind of point me in the right direction with a few things and give me some good input on some different things. And funny story, he was actually my coach in JV or in junior high when I played.
Wow.
So that's how we knew each other, and he just reached out to me. And he saw we were forming a team, and just kind of give me some pointers and help me out. There was numerous people as far as all over the state that I talked to, and it's kind of hard to go back to them. I know as far as in our own organization, one thing that has been great is we've got a board that is very supportive of me and helps me with a lot of things behind the scenes, and kind of lets me drive the ship. And now sometimes they are my voice of reason too, and they straighten me out with some things, But
Yeah.
other than that, they're very supportive in everything we do, and it seems like everything has kind of worked out for the best, and things have moved the direction we want them to move. So they trust me a lot on that. So I've got those people. I got a coach. It's my defensive coordinator this year, Justin Esser. He's been there since day one, and he supported me fully and everything. His son plays with us. Does a jam up job on our line, but he's been there since day one and helped. And like I say, there's a ton of guys. There's a ton of people I've reached out to and just kind of helped point me in the right direction on how to get this organized and how to keep it going.
The only complaint I have about your schedule, and it's not even really a complaint. So that's a bad way of putting it.
Oh, Lord.
The only complaint I have is that your championship is on November the 14th.
Yeah, and that's going to interfere with us in trying to. We were kind of wanting to try to go down to Florida this year and play in the Nationals.
Man, I'd
down
love
there
to
and
see
just
you
see
guys.
where we stack up.
I would have loved to seen you guys down there last year.
Well,
I mean, definitely this year, but last year, I mean, you guys got on a roll.
We did, and we wanted to. We couldn't make it work. Truthfully, financially, and some other things, and just we couldn't seem to get it together, and we wanted to. And we were looking at it this year, and it just seems like our time frame didn't work right with the championship. Now, here's the deal: we're not in the championships yet. So we may be coming down there anyway.
That's
I don't
a
know.
fair
We'll
point.
Just see what happens.
That's a fair point. You're not wrong.
We are not in the championships yet. So we're sitting here assuming we are. We've got to go do the work.
Don't put the cart before the horse. Well, I'm just saying, just you guys or anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's a good chance sometimes. Obviously, you'd love to see teams down there, even if they don't make it into the championship. But I feel like sometimes it's an opportunity too for a conference to kind of put their best for. I mean, Seek up here in Tennessee, Freedom's been able to go down after winning our championship. I know ACSC Evangel's gone, and PAC has gone. So it's a great chance for a lot of conferences. CIC there in North Carolina, Liberty Christian was able to go. So it's a good chance for all the champions to kind of get together and kind of see where you stack up. And then honestly, it's good for the conferences too, because you're like, all right, here's our best team, and here's how they did against their best team. All right, here's where we stack up. But no, not even a complaint. Just saying, would love to see you guys down there at some point, and get to watch you in person. Hattiesburg's a little bit of a haul from the Nashville area. Blake might have to go. Blake's in the school at Mississippi State, so he might.
Yes, sir.
He might have to go catch a game. I might have to talk to him about that.
Tell him to come on down.
I will. Well, let's. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to tell you, now we are playing Unity Christian in Leland, Mississippi this year, so that may be one for him to come watch. It might be a little closer to him.
Right, a little bit closer up there. All right, so let's talk about some of these young men.
Yes, sir.
You talked about having 11 seniors, right? Or was it 12?
12.
12, yeah.
12.
You got 12. You've got 11 they've taken their licks. As juniors, they made it to the championship. So let's talk about some of these young men, and maybe there's some coming from last year or that weren't around last year that over the offseason have really stepped up to another level.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, we
got time.
Well, and here's what I'm going to say is I'm going to name some off, but I want to make sure my guys understand if they're listening. I'm not trying to skip over anybody because we have got a lot of weapons this year.
Yeah.
And it's my biggest fear sometimes is that we don't coach them correctly, and we waste that, right? But regardless, I've got we talked about Sam Smith. I mean,
for sure.
He's going to be a leader on the field at quarterback, and will do a jam up job. I got Brandon Arnold. He's been with us since day one. He's going to be a senior this year and one of our defensive backs, and he has become a jam-up football player, making plays last year in the secondary for us. We've got Now this guy's a junior, and I'm going to call him out because he's one of the team favorites. Joseph McCardle. He is our middle linebacker, and he weighs about 135 pounds.
Wow.
But he hits about like a 200-pound linebacker. And just to tell you, last year he was sitting at 106 tackles.
Yeah.
And that's not bad.
No.
For a kid that most people would look at and think, well, he's not much to him. But regardless,
well, and
he is.
And also had never stepped on a football field. Hasn't been on a football field his whole life either.
No, he was there year one too. And be honest with you, it's kind of a backstory on him. First ball game against Heritage Christian, we had him at running back and going to give him the ball, and he ended up fumbling the ball, and it truly messed with him. It took me half the season to get him back in the right mindset, playing the game, and then we finally found his specialty was more on the defensive side of the ball, and got him back playing defense, and he'd kind of become a good ball player in year one by the end of the year. But then last year, I don't know what happened to the kid. It's like something, a switch flipped in him, and he started playing ball, man. And at one time he's like number 12 in the nation in tackles.
Yeah.
There about mid-season. I mean,
yeah.
he was producing. So we expect big things out of him on defense this year as well.
For sure.
But we've got Radix, Gabe Radix. I mean, he's going to get in on offense and produce a lot this year for us. He returned several punts and kickoffs for us last year for touchdowns, but he's got a lot of speed. I've got some newer kids in here, and I'll tell you what, I've got another one, Draylon Battle. He is going to be a force at wideout.
Yeah.
He is fast and he's tall. So we're gonna put the ball in the air up to him several times this year and just see if he can come down with it. So other than that, on offense, there's so many I can't name every one of them. Defensively, we're returning a good bit of our defensive starters. I'll go back to offense. I'll tell you one other senior, and that's going to be Hudson Burge. He's going to be our center. He's our center last year, and it took him a little while to get used to that position. But he has embraced it, and he does a very good job at it, and he's a leader of our line.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a force. He's 6'2", 310, 315, somewhere in that neighborhood. Big boy.
Man, what are y'all feeding him down there, man?
Well, I don't know. The rest of them didn't get all of it. He just got it all. But no, he's a big old boy, and he's there to anchor that line down, and he takes control of it and does.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think of some other players to name off, but defensively we're returning the same McCardle, Arnold. We've got some new kids come in here. Madden Ramos is one that we expect some good things out of, coming in as a new defensive back. And, like I say, there's so many of them I can name off 1,000 of them, but
that's a good.
I guess I could name 33 of them off. But
I was about to say, I think we're limited to 33 here.
Yeah, right. But no, like I say, we've got some depth on both sides of the ball this year, and it's a good feeling. And these kids are ready to play. They're ready to show what they got this coming Friday.
I wanted to ask you, backing up a little bit to last year, and you start off with Southeast and come up a little bit short there, and then Faithful Explorers. But I think earlier in the interview we talked about you mentioned the win against Heritage Christian and getting that close win. And then as you go through the season, you had a couple other ones. You got that close win against Faithful Explorers, and then obviously the championship was a close one. But for you, I like to ask different coaches this. For you, is it harder to get guys ready for get guys focused for maybe what's going to be a closer game, or when you play a team like a Meridian or Magnolia or something where maybe they're still building a little bit, they're still getting some pieces together. kind of trying to get the guys focused, to stay focused on that?
To be honest with you, I believe the thing that's the hardest to coach for and to plan for is what everybody calls a trap game.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, a game you go into, knowing that you have the upper hand and that you have the ability to win this ball game and should win this ball game, but if you don't come to play, you're not going to win.
Any Friday night. Any Friday night.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
You can never go into a game thinking you have it in hand, and we preach that every day at practice. You can never go into that mindset. You have to play, every down, and if you get beat on a down, you still got another one to play. You have to get up and keep going no matter what.
We talked about the conference getting bigger from last year to this year, adding in Tornadoes and Gulf Coast and Mount Zion and Unity. How did that kind of come about in terms of some of these teams that are starting up or were independent, getting involved with the conference?
As far as Gulf Coast, Coach John White, he just reached out to me through social media and said, "Hey, look, we're looking at starting a team down here. We've never done it before, and what would be the best way to go about doing it?" So I just kind of had some conversations with him and just told him, "Well, look, this is what we did, and it's apparently successful, and it works." And basically that's just going through social media and start putting it out in your area. Hey, we're going to have an interest meeting and start trying to work through that process. Right.
Yeah.
That's how it came about with them. Mount Zion did field a junior varsity team last year, and we played them in a game.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of where they came from. So that relationship was more so formed last year.
Right.
Kind of through the same thing. I think they had seen some of our stuff on social media and had reached out to us about playing. And then as far as Unity, I've been watching them up north. I just knew they were so far away that if we didn't pull in at least another team kind of somewhere up there and could create two divisions, I didn't know how we would make that work, having to make somebody like Gulf Coast out of Pascagoula, Mississippi, drive basically 5 to 5.5 hours to play a football game. That's going to be hard to do, So we were able to work it out with them and Mississippi Tornadoes to come in and just be able to create those two divisions and just try to make the most sense logistically as to who was in what division.
Right.
Maybe next year, if another team or two comes in, we change these divisions around. We try to figure it out. We don't require everybody to have to play everybody.
Yeah.
We require two cross-division teams, and if you want to play, or not cross-division teams, two cross-division games.
Yeah.
And if you want to play everyone, you are more than welcome to, but you don't have to.
Right. I got you. Well, and it's cool too because it seems like, especially if you have a relationship with the program, it seems like MAIS teams, you're able to play them. Like, we talked about it, playing Heritage, playing Wilkinson County because of relationships. And then even some of your teams playing some of the Alabama teams, some of the Louisiana teams. So it's cool to see kind of that crossover. Of kind of testing the waters outside your conference, kind of seeing where you stack up. That which kind of leads in my next question. Obviously, the schedule's set, we're ready to go, got it all lined up. But when you're making the schedule for next year, as you, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to maybe look at teams maybe in Alabama or Tennessee, Louisiana, Arkansas, that area. But is there anybody that you kind of look at and go, man, I'd like to play them. I'd like to kind of match up with them a little bit.
To be honest with you, and I'm not trying to call anybody out, so I don't want it to seem
no,
that.
Not at all. Not at all. No, and I don't mean it. I don't mean it in that way.
Yeah. So I think logistically, a good team for us to possibly reach out to next year and get a game with maybe Russell Christian.
Yeah,
they're only about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from us, and I think that would be a good matchup of a team out of a different division. I think maybe we could try to get one with somebody in Louisiana. I know you've got North Shore Vultures, which we are playing in JV this year. So maybe we can match
Ooh,
up with
that'd be
them next
cool.
year.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make that work out. And he did call me about an open date on August, actually this past weekend, but we weren't going to be ready. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to try to force something kind of last minute and get our guys not prepared for what we got to deal with this weekend.
Right.
We want to stay focused on what our job is on that. But
Right.
maybe next year we could play a game with them and Russell Christian and try to get a few different conferences there playing each other. I think that would be a good deal.
And that'd be cool too, because I know the teams from the conference that North Shore's in, they don't get to play out of conference a lot. Like Acadiana came to Florida last year and got a chance to play, and it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the first time they played out of conference. Usually they just play in their conference, home and home, and do their playoffs and such. So it was cool to see. It was cool to see how their brand of football in that conference and in the state kind of a lot matched up with others. I'm a nerd when it comes to that. I love it.
Yes, sir.
I love it. Well, kind of a fun question. I'm gonna wrap this up here because I've kept you on here for about 30 minutes now. Kind of a fun question. Obviously, I like to ask coaches, and everybody's got a little bit different answer. Last week, I think the answer was Snickers and a Red Bull or something like that. But if we're on the road and we stop at the gas station, right, or just whenever we stop at the gas station, what are we getting from the gas station?
Man, I mainly drink a lot of water.
Fair
but
enough.
If I'm going to get a soda, I'm gonna get a Mountain Dew Zero.
Okay. All right.
Problem is, I like just about every candy bar out there, so I don't know what to tell you on that one.
Is there any you don't like?
I don't know. I haven't tried one I don't like yet.
Fair
we'll
enough.
just stick with a Snickers.
Fair enough.
Stick with a Snickers.
That's a solid one right there. All right, you're on the road. It's post game, and y'all are gonna stop for a post game meal. Perfect situation. Where are we stopping for the post game meal?
Man, I like Chick-fil-A, but I think these kids like Taco Bell and junk like that. And it's,
you're not wrong.
I guess a lot of it depends on how long that trip is too, and what the effects of that meal is going to be. So we just kind of have to work around that. But if I get to make the decision, we're going to find a Chick-fil-A.
There you go. Fair enough. Coach, I appreciate you hopping on with me, and man, I'm looking forward to keeping up with y'all. I know, obviously, last year with our rankings, you guys, as you were winning and picking up some steam, able to kind of get up in there. So, let's see how it goes this year. But I'll be looking forward to keeping an eye on y'all.
Yes, sir. We can't wait to see what those rankings say by the end of the year.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm excited. If I'm not mistaken, you guys are back with us on 8-Man Extreme Mississippi. I didn't even touch on that.
Yeah. We're excited to do that. We're going to live stream every game this year.
That was cool to be able to watch y'all last year and keep up with y'all, and I think Meridian did their games as well. But it was cool to be able to keep up with the conference that way. I mean, we got to watch the championship that way. So that was cool to be able to keep up with ball down there, and it's a cool thing to be able to do, and I mean, I guess this would be perfect opportunity from your point of view. And it seems like it got easier as the year goes on, but it's not crazy hard, is it?
No, it's not. I think we're going to have to face a few little things this year because we're changing to some AI tracking cameras. I hope they work right.
Right.
But,
right.
Other than that, as long as you got somebody to run the camera, it's not hard at all.
No.
I mean, if anybody else is out there, wondering if they should get in and do it, one, it doesn't cost you anything, but
Absolutely.
somebody having a little time to film it.
Absolutely.
And it's good for your kids, and it's good exposure for your kids to get on there, as well as just, it gives them something that they can say, hey, my game's on that on YouTube. You can
Yep.
go on there and watch them.
Yep.
You know,
Grandma and grandpa and all them get to
that's
watch
right.
it, and
That's right.
makes
And
it, especially the away games.
oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. You know, when you can't get everybody to travel, they can sit at home and watch that ball game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I think, and I feel that almost helps build that community a little bit, because they don't feel out of touch if they're not able to go on the road. They're able to keep up with it, and then
Yeah,
they
that's
don't
right.
they don't lose touch with how the team did. They don't just see a
Yes, sir.
score; they're able to see how they did. So,
Yeah.
well, Coach, I appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to keeping up with y'all this year.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, and look forward to listening to you through the rest of the year, and just we'll see what this year does for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good luck the rest of the season, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye. It's Coach Sam Arnett from the Pine Belt Spartans. That's actually how we met last year. He had reached out about uh, getting on 8 Man Extreme Mississippi and getting the games getting set up to stream the games, and that's kind of how we started talking and getting and kind of interacting, and it's been fun to get to know him and kind of keep up with Pine Belt as well. Cool to see the conference continue to grow as well. All right, so let's run through these the upcoming week's worth of games. I know, like I said at the top of the show, typically we'll kind of preview maybe a top five. I haven't had a chance to do early in the season. Early in the season too, it's hard to pick a top five when it's a 1-0 team playing a 1-0 team. Like, you really have to get, once the rankings come out, 3, 4, 5 weeks into the season to kind of see where everybody matches up. So I'm going to run through the games that are coming up. I know it's probably the boring part of the show, but I do want to touch base. I want to call out some of these schools. So let's start in the AISA. Some of their teams get going this upcoming week. First year program, Miracle Academy. They're on the road at Heritage Christian. Macon East, the defending AISA champs, they are taking on Lakeside School, who's back at 8-man. Coach Roland Bell, the head coach there, I think they're the Indian Chiefs. They're the Chiefs. They're in Eufaula. And then Springwood School taking on Southern Christian there in Opelika. So Southern Christian on the road, or coming back from being on the road to Gatlinburg, and then they'll have that game on Friday night. Christian Football Association. Let's back up. Let's go ACSC. Alabama Christian Sports Conference. So Southern Christian hosting Springwood. Evangel Christian, they are on the road at the Chattanooga Patriots. Patriots went to Evangel last year, so Evangel returning the trip, and that's how they're kicking off their season. Chattanooga right now 1-0. East Central Patriots, they are at Tuscaloosa Christian. Little not a rivalry, but a good little relationship there between the two of them. East Central coming off that tough loss to JP2 yesterday. And then independent wise, Trinity Christian Homeschool, the Eagles, they are hosting Riverside Christian here out of the SEEC. That's how they're starting off their season. Riverside Christian 0-1 after the loss. Russell Christian has a game Thursday, but I'm not sure. It just says non-varsity opponent. And then on Friday, let's see. Like I mentioned, East Central at Tuscaloosa. And then Jacksonville Christian will be hosting Alabama School for the Deaf on Friday. And then let's see, that's it for Christian Football Association. Let's jump down to Alabama. I'm sorry, let's jump down to Louisiana. Talk about the ACEL. First Baptist Christian, they are 0-1, and they are taking on Mid-State Homeschool, the Storm, on Thursday. And then on Saturday, North Shore Vultures are at Southwest Louisiana Homeschool, SWLA. They are 1-1, and then North Shore is 0-1 to start the season. I don't think Heartland Christian Athletic Association has started. Nope, they don't start, and Arkansas doesn't start till next week as well. So no AAA games. Let's jump down to we can jump down to Florida. So coming up this Friday, got a ton of games. Let's run through these. Classical Academy of Sarasota at Riverview, Merritt Island Christian at St. Francis Catholic, Orlando Christian Prep at Bradenton Christian, Shorecrest Prep at Foundation Christian, Real Life at City of Life. A little battle of the lives. Calvary Chapel is at Geneva Classical. Sefner Christian at Legacy Charter. I think Legacy Charter is playing 11 man. Maybe not. Maybe not. Ocala Christian is at Countryside Christian. Hernando Christian, who had a great run last year, they are at Academy at the Lakes, who also had a great run. Lakeside Christian is at First Academy of Leesburg. And then let's see, that's it for Florida. Let's jump up to Virginia. We got some games coming up Friday night. Broadwater Academy kicks off their season on the road against Kinston Forest, who's coming off that loss to Fuqua last week. Blessed Sacrament Huguenot is at Southampton to start off the season. Life Christian at Brunswick Academy, and then Rappahannock County is at Greenbrier Christian. So both of those programs starting their season off. Let's come up here to Tennessee. We got some games happening on Friday night. Mentioned Evangel Christian is at the Chattanooga Patriots. Riverside Christian on the road at Trinity Christian. Tennessee Heat on the road at South Haven Christian. And then the Freedom Cowboys, they are 1-0, and they are on the road in Smyrna to take on Lancaster Christian, who's 2-0. So that'll be interesting. That's a big South Division matchup there. Heat and South Haven, a big North Division matchup. So those two early in the season has playoff implications. It's always interesting when that takes place. Let's see. Let's jump to South Carolina. Got some games happening on Friday. Community Christian is at the Kings Academy. WW King Academy is at Wardlaw. Richard Wynn at Lawrence Academy. JDA is at Andrew Jackson. JDA coming off that win against Pack. Cathedral Academy at Palmetto Christian. And then Newberry Academy is at Cambridge Academy. First year for Cambridge in Skeesa. So that one will be interesting, as well as Andrew Jackson, first year in Skeesa as well. That's South Carolina. Let's go North Carolina. Let's start with the NCISAA. Father Campadano, they are at Sandhills Classical Christian. Matamuski, they are at Pungo Christian. Wake Christian is at Community Christian. Arundel Parrott is hosting Harrell's Christian 11-man. JP2 is hosting Rocky Mount. It's great to see Rocky Mount back in 8-man after dropping their program for, I think it was a year, maybe two. Maybe I'm off there by a little bit, but cool to see Rocky Mount back with a program there in North Carolina. Lawrence Academy, they are at Faith Christian, who's coming off the win yesterday in Gatlinburg. Lawrence Academy with their win as well. Rocky Mountain Prep, they are at St. David's. And then Cary Christian, I believe this is an 11-man matchup. They're taking on Grace Christian. Yeah, Grace Christian 11-man, so this is an 11-man matchup for Cary Christian. Let's go. Well, let's finish up North Carolina. Let's go Christian Independent Conference. On Friday, I pretty much hit the games. Community Christian hosting Wake Christian, and then Sandhills Classical hosting Father Campadano. Let's jump to Georgia. Let's talk about a little Georgia 8-man. Baker County is they are 9-man in gaps, but able to play 8-man, and so they're going to play Westwood School in 8-man. Westwood with making a run in our top 25 last season, and then on Friday night, Spring Creek Charter, another one of those Gaps 9-man teams. They are playing Fullington in 8-man. And that'll be interesting. Kind of keep an eye on that. Grace Christian is at Crisp Academy. Coastal Hurricanes at Vidalia Heritage. Holy Spirit Prep is at they are at the Augusta Eagles. Let's see. Westminster Christian Academy at Young Americans Christian. I think that might, let's see. Young Americans, I think that's an 11-man. No, that's a 9-man. It's not well, so they're either playing 8 or 9. We'll have to keep up with that. David Emanuel is at Citizens Christian. Both of those teams 1-0 to start their season. And then John Hancock Academy, they are at Georgia Christian, who's coming off that tough loss Friday night. Let's see, that's Georgia. Let's go down. Let's talk about a little Mississippi. We talked to Coach Arnett just now. They are hosting Heritage Christian out of the MAIS. Magnolia Wildcats, they are at Clinton Christian, who just moved to 8-man in the MAIS. And then the Meridian Flyers taking on Unity Christian, big conference matchup there. And then on Saturday, a couple games, Faith Christian, Mississippi Tornadoes are at Ezekiel Academy. And then Southeast Sehi, they are taking on Gulf Coast Elite Homeschool. Actually had not seen Gulf Coast here on Max Preps. There we go. Yep, coming out of Pascagoula. So you have the full schedule in there. Nope, just Sehi on there for right now. Staying in Mississippi, we'll go MAIS. Friday night, Porter's Chapel is at Claiborne Academy. Columbus Christian at North Sunflower. River Oaks taking on Riverdale. That might be an 11-man. Might be an 11-man game. Yep, I would say, well, it looks like Riverdale moved to 8. Because they have a schedule full of 11-man games, but then they also got some 8-man teams on there. So that's what I'm going to say probably happened there. Riverdale playing 8-man this season. Newton County Academy is at Humphreys Academy. Both of those teams had an appearance last year in the rankings. Humphreys had a great run. Briarfield Academy at Deer Creek. Prairie View Academy is at Faithful Explorers, rather. Wilkinson County Christian taking on Ben's Ford Christian. That'll be a fun one. Keep an eye on. Christ Covenant at Silva Bay Academy. Princess Christian at Tensas Academy. Central Homes at Delta Streets. And Tunica at Benton Academy. Let's go to let's see if there's any that weren't on the other one. Let's see. Franklin Academy at Tallulah Academy, and then DeSoto School at Calhoun. I think we're the only ones not on 1A there. Let's see. That's Mississippi, North Carolina. That's all of them. Yep, that's all the games coming up. So still a couple conferences have not gotten fired up yet, but we're pretty much in full swing. Pretty much going full send. And again, I'm excited for Pine Belt Spartans. You can watch their games this year on 8-Man Extreme Mississippi. So excited to keep up with them there. I think that just about does it. I appreciate Coach Arnett hopping on the show with me and talking a little Pine Belt Spartans football. Might turn that down just a hair. There we go. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. And again, hey, football's here. Go out, go catch a game, go support these young men, and we will see you next week. See ya!